What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Happy holidays to everybody. I just wanted to bring to you guys this video here, this insightful video here regarding what I see about to happen in the markets and also share my top trade ideas heading into the holidays here. So, are we going to get the Santa Claus rally or is it going to be a bull trap? So, we are going to see whether we are going to get that. Is going to be determined tonight. Actually, tonight is the day where today is December 19th already in Japan. So the Japanese central bank is going to decide whether they are going to hike interest rates. And hiking interest rate is something that the market is already priced in. But what is going to be the main take-home message is that is the Japanese Fed going to be hawkish, meaning that are they going to continue increasing interest rates in the year 2026, or is it just going to be the end of the interest rate hike? So that is what the market is looking for. So today we saw the market rally due to better than expected CPI numbers and also jobless claim numbers. So I've been saying this on this channel for several weeks now that anytime we are going into holidays, for some reason, I'm seeing in this year, I've seen that every single time we are going into a holiday, there's always the numbers that come out are always very good in what I call Goldilocks numbers, numbers that are priced to perfection, right? Priced to perfection. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're doctoring the numbers or if the numbers are real. You figure it out, right? So for me, I'm a technical analysis trader, so I trade the technicals. Okay, so so this number came in and it was good and it caused the market to rally. However, the rally was not sustained because the smart money were taking off their bets because they don't want to over leverage going into the Japanese Fed meeting tonight, right? So by 8 p.m. tonight, we are going to know if the Japanese central bank or Bank of Japan's interest rate hikes is going to be something that was hawkish or is it going to be dovish, right? If it's dovish, then perfect. It's going to cause the market to rally and we are going to get the Santa Claus rally. So for now, what I see is that anything is possible and we are going to see that reflect in the futures market. So as of now, the futures market, as expected, the futures market is red, right? Futures market is red, meaning that the market is a little bit cautious and is being, it's not going to rally that much. It's waiting for that decision. If the decision comes in and it's dovish, then obviously we are going to get a big rally tomorrow. But if it's bearish, then trust me, if it's hawkish, then it's going to be a big sell-off in the market tomorrow. So we shall see how it goes. As a technical analysis trader and a futures trader, I'm going to be watching this closely to see what's happening around that time between 7 p.m. Eastern time to the 8 p.m. Eastern time to see what is going on. So if the news comes out and is the Fed in Japan is very hawkish, then all bets are going to be off and we are going to get that sell-off. But for now, I'm being a little bit more optimistic that we are going to get the Santa Claus rally, but who knows, right? So the only thing standing in the way now from the US market getting the traditional Santa Claus rally is the rate hikes decision in Japan, right? So once that is cleared, then expect us to get a rally to the upside next week. Okay, so without much ado, I'll just go ahead and share my screen here and show you guys what I'm seeing here in the chart. So here we have the S&P 500 as a SPY. So today, members of Rich Day Trade live day trading service, we traded SPY. Some traders traded the option. Some also traded the futures, and it worked out really well. So the game plan was crystal clear, and the trade worked out exactly to trade plan, and members capitalized on it. Within the first hour, we were done and we locked in profit and we're done for the day. So what I'm looking to see here is that this trend line has been a critical trend line. This is the Liberation Day low area. To this area, this has held, and now we are here. So price came, it couldn't get quite close to this, but what did he do? It kind of got close to it, but it hasn't broken yet, right? It hasn't broken yet. So today you could see that this popped, but it could not clear the moving averages congestion. So moving averages congestion was something that was critical in our day trading today. I told members that SPY and QQQ are eventually going to move up. However, the moving averages congestion is going to make it difficult. So moving averages congestion is just like you driving, right? And you know that there's construction going on in the road that you're taking. So there's going to be blockades all over the place. So as a trader, what you do is that you want to navigate those roadblocks and make sure that those things do not be an impediment towards your trading, right? And you manage your risk accordingly. So here, I see that SPY is holding this trend. So as long as we hold this trend, and if tomorrow we're able to gap above the moving averages, then we are going to clear here. So typically, Friday is going to be the last major day of the trading year. Next week is going to be more low volume market, right? So during low volume markets, typically what happens is that the smart money, the guys that control the market. So if you're a 9-to-5 worker and you work in offices and places like that, you're going to realize that during holidays, some of your colleagues take vacation, right? They leave the office and you're going to see that the office is going to be empty, right? No, there's not many people in the office. So the same thing applies to the stock market, right? The guys that control the market, the smart money, they take off for holidays early. They go and hang out with their friends and families and come back in January. So what's going to happen, what's going to be left is that you're going to have a small fraction of the smart money traders at work, and then you are going to have a whole bunch of retail traders, right? So retail tends to like to buy the dip. It tends to be bullish bias. So because of that, it's going to cause, we are going to get a float up or a melt up in the market. But that depends on what happens tomorrow, right? If tomorrow's trade is strong, the market is strong tomorrow, then you are going to get that move to the upside. Okay, so those are the things that I'm watching. So here we still at a major top here in the SPY. So going into 2026, right? What I'm thinking is that, like, I think we are going to eventually get the Santa Claus Rally. It all depends on what happens tonight in Japan. However, for 2026, I believe that the US stock market is going to go into a bear market, right? So as a subscriber to this channel, I want us to start preparing for that, right? Because I'm going to use the charts to guide me, right? I use the charts to guide me. So no hype, no narratives, it's just the charts, right? So we are going to see what happens here. So here, this has been holding so far. Let's see if he holds this area and we can push, right? So for now, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the SPY and what happens in the general market, in the futures market tonight, and that's going to determine where price is going to head, okay? Then I go to the VIX. So I'm watching the VIX carefully because the last time we got a major spike like this, look at this. This was in 2025 here. That's the Liberation Day sell-off. The one that has been the highest so far in recent times is here. This was August 2024, and this was due to issues in Japan, Japanese carry trade. That caused the VIX to spike to $65, right? So here, in a matter of 1 day, the market sold off close to 10% in just 1 day. So are we going to get something similar? That could be possible. So in technicals, we use pattern recognition, right? Based on the pattern, you see this here, this is the low before we got that spike. And then here as well, this is the low before we got this spike here. So now we are using that same trend line. We could get the same thing happen. So tomorrow, if the VIX is able to clear this moving averages congestion, then you know that the market is in trouble. We are going to get a big push to the upside, and that's going to bring lots of volatility into the market. So I'm going to keep an eye on the VIX. So far, so good. I talked about this here a couple of days ago, and I mentioned that this was a critical level, and then we saw that bounce here. That was Thursday last week, and Friday we got the pop, right? So that is something that is based on the technicals, and once the VIX is rallying, it means that the stock market will be selling. SPY and QQQ mainly are going to be selling, okay? All right, so let's go to the QQQ. So the tech-heavy QQQ has been, it started off strong. That has been one of the strongest indices or ETFs since the beginning of the year, but it has lost steam, right? So right now, look at this. If you look at this trend line here, you can see that this was acted like a ping pong support level, right? 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3, etc., right? And what did it do? It broke it, right? So anytime you have a support trend line that has been tested several times, the more it gets tested, it becomes weaker and it breaks down. So it broke down, and then here, what did he do? He came and tested the 100 SMA and he bounced there. So from the bounce level to here, what did he do? He mainly did retrace to the scene of the crime, which is usually a break and retest. So he break and retest. And then what did he do? He bumped his head into this and he sold off. So far, it dipped into the 100 SMA here today, very close to it. It's still close below the SMA or the moving average. So again, tomorrow, if the situation in Japan is positive, we are going to get a break to the upside, and this can come all the way here. So my target in that case is going to be here. So I'm looking for a trade where this sets up and I take it to this area. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm going to be watching. This trend line is going to come into play in the future if we get that bounce. Next one is IWM. Okay. IWM. So IWM here is signaling a market top, right? Or something of the interim, right? If you look at IWM, see, you look at this Liberation Day low. So you have here, this is 1 touch, 2 touch, 3, 4, 5, right? So what did he do? He pierced it just like what we saw on QQQ. He came back here and he bumped his head into this, retrace to the scene of the crime, and then he's back here, right? So are we going to see a move to the upside to come and retest this, or are we going to continue down, right? So we shall see how that works. Also, what I wanted to also flag is that I wanted to also flag Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin. So if you look at Bitcoin, let's go to the Bitcoin chart, right? So Bitcoin over the years, okay? Bitcoin over the years has been the canary of the coal mines, right? Because Bitcoin is a risk asset and it's also a leading indicator of when we get market tops. So if you go back in time in history, this mother of all trend lines. So this is your 2017 highs, right? And you also have the 2017 highs, and you have the highs of you have your 2017 highs here, and you have your 2021 highs, and then you have the 2025 highs, right? Typically, what happens is that Bitcoin tends to top out anytime it has a 4-year cycle. If you take the 4-year cycle into consideration of crypto and Bitcoin, anytime Bitcoin tops, usually the stock market tops 4 to 6 weeks after. So here we saw that Bitcoin topped here in September, right? September, that's 2025. And then we saw that the SPY, the SPY, and the stock market topped in October, right? If you look at this is the highs of the stock market. See here, it topped in October, November, right? So if we go to the daily chart, you can see that we topped here in October. So that is about like 4 weeks out, 4 to 6 weeks out, right? So using that same logic, so what you see here in Bitcoin, BTC, right? It's going to be, so Bitcoin is already in a bear market anyways, right? It's been in the bear market. So here, what we've seen here in Bitcoin is what is about to happen to the SPY and QQQ, right? So if Bitcoin does not recover and then we don't get any Santa Claus rally, that means that that's the end of the cycle, and we are going to go into the bear market of, it's already in the bear market, but that's going to usher in the bear market. So what happens is that the smart money, anytime they start investing in something, when they realize that there's some warning shots coming up, what they do is that they start exiting their risk asset first, the highest risk asset, and the first one is Bitcoin. Okay, so that's just a side note. You can go and check all the tops from 2017, 2021, and 2025 and see that it's always 4 to 6 weeks. So Bitcoin leads the way, and then the stock market follows. So based on that and other factors, I believe that by March next year, we shall start seeing a significant decline in the US stock market, or we could be in a bear market by then. So as investors and technical analysis traders, you have to be prepared and to be able to execute on that. Okay, so next ticker that I have here, which is one of my top trade ideas here, is going to be Amazon. Amazon has not been the best this year. It's been trading sideways and it pops, drops, all the kind of things. So here I have Amazon here. So Amazon, we have this lows here. This is the Liberation Day low. If you connect the trend line from Liberation Day low to the one in April 21st, so you get here, you get 1 hit, 2 hits, 3, and 4, right? So this is a key support level. If Amazon is able to hold this key support and break across this downsloping trend line, it's going to squeeze. We are going to get a big move to the upside, right? So that will all depend on what happens to the market tomorrow. If the market is strong, I expect Amazon to rip and go up. So this is a high probability trade, and this one could be day traded or it could be swing traded. Okay. Next one I have is Tesla. So Tesla has been good to us in both the day trading service and then the swing trading service. So with Tesla, if you look at it here, you see that this here is the lows here from Liberation Day low connected here. There's the up sloping trend line, and then here you have the down sloping trend line, which is, if you go to the weekly time frame, you can see that that's the highs of the all-time highs, and then here this highs here. If you connect them, you get this, right? So you form this triangle pattern. Okay, triangle pattern. So here, what's about to happen is that we had this break above this. So this is a breakout, right? It was a breakout. However, anytime you break out something like that with a gap up, you have a gap here. There's a gap over here with Tesla. Okay. So basically what it did yesterday was that Tesla pretty much pulled back, right? Which is the natural movement of stock. So if you go to the daily, you can clearly see that. Take this off. You can clearly see that Tesla popped, and then what did he do? He retraced to the scene of the crime, right? That's where, this place was acting as resistance, and now it's 10 support. So you can see that push to the upside. So Tesla, I think is not done yet. If the market is strong tomorrow, then we are going to clear this 495, which is the new all-time highs, and we are going to make new all-time highs here. We could go as high as 515 and beyond. And next year, if the market continues to stay strong within the first few months, you are going to see Tesla could be trading around 600 or more. Okay, so yeah, so that's Tesla. And then another ticker that I have is Light. Light. All right, Light, right? So I've talked about this ticker a number of times here in this YouTube channel, and this sold off, it held here, and it's pushing up so far, right? This has been a good move so far and a high probability trade because it's pattern recognition, right? So if we look at this, every single time this stock has come near the 20, it always bounces near. It doesn't need to touch it, it's near, right? So here, near, and then finally it touches, right? So what do you expect here? What has happened in the past could most likely happen again in the future. So that's why it bounced here, and now we have this downsloping trend line here and this to break. So if tomorrow this stock is able to trade above 345, you can look to buy longs and capture the move to the upside. And if the general market condition is good, then we can get that all-time highs. So this stock was showing relative strength today, even when the market was selling. So I believe that with that in mind, it can do well and push up further. So that's about it here for tonight. And also we are going to be having a masterclass. So the masterclass is going to be a free masterclass, a Christmas special. The links is in the description, so make sure you click on the link and register, invite your friends, share the link with your friends, and so that they can attend the masterclass. And also you are invited to trade with me live tomorrow, free Fridays, by going to our website, tradingrich.com. So here you go to tradingrich.com. Here, go to our website, tradingrich.com. You click here and then you join our free community. Once you join the free community, you are going to see the Zoom link there, and you can join me live to trade the markets tomorrow. So I'm excited about the opportunities tomorrow in the market after the Japan news. So we shall see how things work out, and see you in the inside tomorrow. Take care now. Happy holidays. Have a good night. Bye-bye.